Today on the podcast, we got my dude, Todd McCullough, a.k.a. TMac Fitness. TMac is a former college football player, played at the University of Florida, then got into finance, and the market crashed. Lost his job.
Then he reached back into what he'd been doing his whole entire life, fitness, training, sports, and started training people.
He did. So he started training people here. He was able to work his way in, and he talks about this on the podcast, work his way into some pretty high-end spots here in Los Angeles, and then started his online platform, which has now been up and running for a handful of years.
And he's one of the most influential micro-influencers.
Somebody called him that recently. We don't know if it's a compliment or an insult or both, Timmy. Anywho, on the podcast today, we talk about how he started and transitioned from football player to finance to fitness instructor to how he's now growing his online business. His big thing is mind right. I mean, getting your mind right, mindfulness. So we talk a lot about that. And we dig into a lot of behind the scenes of what he does with his business now and things he's messed up in the past. We hope you enjoy. We are live on the podcast, Timmy. Today we got my dude, Mr. T-Mac, Todd McCullough, TMac Fitness. We're talking about micro-influencers.
And the conversation's now over.
Fresh out of the ocean this morning.
Yep. How's the surf?
What a good way to
Great.
start the day.
I don't know if it was a surf per se, but
We sat on the board.
there were surfboards in the water.
Like if you walk by, you would think that dude could surf with that beard.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
I
the
did-
The bleach.
Well,
blonde.
here's okay. So this is my
Frosted
third
tips.
time. Yeah, third time surfing. I got on the board with my knees and moved a little bit,
You're like, what the hell do I do now?
and I didn't mean to get on my knees. I was trying to get on my feet.
Like when you're coming in or going out?
Coming in.
Okay.
I caught the
He
wave.
caught the
baby.
wave.
Caught it.
I
I caught the wave, and somehow I tried to get up on my feet, just didn't do it fast enough, and I ended up on my knees, and I was rolling, and then I just dipped out. And then another time I got both feet on there, but didn't move, like feet on off.
You weren't even close on that one.
No, not even close.
Okay.
Did you get up
you guys
today?
Get video?
I did a knee roll.
No video.
I did the knees
Oh, nice.
and look half stand up for about a second.
One of the guys got up
But if you
and
see
surfed.
if all of you listen, if you see our Instagram photos, we look like legit surfers.
Oh, across the
That-
board.
Every-
four dudes.
every
If
Yeah.
you're a
morning,
micro
go out
influencer,
there.
that's what you
The one dude got up and surfed for
Yeah.
3 seconds.
we got up.
I don't even know if Matt did.
No, Matt was getting ready for his YouTube videos.
Nice.
He was out of it.
Yeah, mentally not there. Yeah.
It slays. It's
Right,
Slays.
yeah.
His name is Slays now.
That's nice. Matt Slays is his name.
Oh.
Him and his wife got a big YouTube page, and his wife has their own big YouTube page.
Yeah.
Slays is kind of a cool last name.
It
It's
is,
a cool name.
and it's real.
yeah.
Why doesn't she
Dude,
go by
I feel
Slays?
like a kind of an porn star name. Matt Slays.
Yeah, he doesn't
That's
look like a
solid
porn star.
That's a solid. He doesn't.
So he does.
He does not.
It's
he
like
cannot
a
pull that
porn.
off.
Looks like a very nice doctor or
Yeah.
dentist.
I'm pretty
type.
sure all the people that watch him too are kids. So let's just change subjects.
True. Anyhow, T-Mac. Well, you're back filming your T-Mac Fitness online videos,
Yep.
which our mother loves,
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing more beginner stuff, right?
How awesome is it that y'all's mom does the videos?
Yeah.
I know, right?
He loves it.
It's really cool to see people of all skill sets. Like for the first couple of years, we just filmed. It was just my ass, because I couldn't afford to pay anyone, doing all the workouts, and they were pretty much moderate to advanced. And these were workouts I was doing like the days that like had long days, couldn't get in the gym, and my clients, a lot of them were bi-coastal, so they were doing these 20-minute no equipment workouts. And then now we're filming beginner levels. So folks like your mom, and I've yet to convince my mom to actually do them. But, everyone can have access to a win each day. And that's really rewarding for me.
Yeah. How did so talk to us about how you even started that? Because you played football at Florida.
Yep. So played football at University of Florida. Ended up having like 5 surgeries from football.
Where at?
3 knees, 2 shoulders.
Oh.
And, it was one of those deals. I was fortunate to live that childhood dream, but like I was burnt when football was over. Like the NFL worked out great, but you're not, went from like a 4.7 40 to a 5 flat. You're not playing the NFL with a 5 flat.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm training people, not actually getting trained.
Yeah.
And so ended up, long story, I guess the whole backstory was, ended up working at Merrill Lynch, was a financial advisor there. So I always joke and say I'm probably the only personal trainer with a Series 7. So went through that whole deal. Great experience.
What state were you at? When
I was
you
in
were
Florida.
there? Okay.
So I grew up in a small town, went to Gainesville, an hour away, worked in Ponte Vedra, which is a nice little beach town in Florida. Awesome transition out of football, but just felt completely not me, just lost. Got out of a 5-year relationship. Was just starting to ask, like, who is Todd outside of football? What is it? Like, I loved playing, loved the Gators, but I didn't want it to be my whole life. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna be one of these guys that sits around and talks about Florida football the rest of his damn life. And so ended up asked Merrill Lynch to transfer me as far away from Florida where no one knew who the hell I was. I had a buddy I played ball with up in Ventura. So we went to California, spent a time in LA, and I was like, LA's not me at all, but it sure as hell beats more exciting than being single at 24 in North Florida.
Yeah.
So had Merrill Lynch transfer me out here. In 2008,
Had you been out here and visited and stuff
went
before?
out once to visit my buddy.
That was it.
That was it.
With the intention of moving at that
No,
point?
just to get the hell out, just to get a vacation, just to hang.
Cool.
Never been to California. And my buddy that I played with at Florida was been trying to get me to come out.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, ended up being out here and was like, okay, let's do it. I'll do it for a year. But as soon as I moved here, the market crashed in 2008.
Oh, that's right.
And if you're not a big producer in the stock market world, your ass got laid off fast.
Dang.
So I got laid off and was honestly talking about like God's timing. Like if I had like, if I'd have been here for a year and the market crashed, I probably just would have transferred to another firm back in Florida, kept my book of business and continue. But I was like, I'm not ready to leave LA. So how do I pay the rent? And, I grew up in the gym. My dad had a gym. You played football at Florida. You're working with the best of the best.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I can train people. We can figure out kind of like yourself, like how do you just pay rent?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember taking all my suits to Goodwill, like all my fancy suits from Merrill Lynch. And got some board shorts and some wife beaters and started taking to the streets, handing out flyers. So I went from like, fancy $900 suits to like board shorts looking like I was homeless. But it started to feel alive again since football. And
Did you feel like you had to get certified, or were you certified?
Yeah, so I got certified as a personal
okay.
trainer, which is not that hard to do.
No, you just got to pay a few bucks and have a couple hours on your hand.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 3 or 4 legit certifications that if anybody's listening, if you're working with a trainer, they need to have like the NASM or the ACE or there's a couple other ones that you want to make sure you get.
Sure.
So you get that, but it was more of like, I'd been training since I was a kid for football.
Yeah.
Like I realized I would forget more about training than I would ever learn about finance at Merrill Lynch. And so it's kind of like, what can you be great at? And I was, I guess you would say it was kind of tapping into my God-given gifts, encouraging people, fitness, etc. And, started off doing typical training like I did as an athlete with my clients, and then
just kicking their ass,
and, hit training, athletic training. And that was the business started slowly. I mean, 2 years, it was brutal. I mean, like I can remember you go to Trader Joe's, you get an ahi tuna steak and a brown rice for $2.29. That's dinner.
Yeah.
Right. Like many years of that, or I'll say 2 years for sure. And that slowly started to build. Ended up boot camp's growing a little bit. So our buddy Ben, whose hat you're wearing right now, who's the manager for like Andy Grammer.
Shout out to Small Giant.
Small Giant. So like Ben and like Andy Grammer used to come to the boot camps. It's like all these people just getting started.
How did you link up with them?
Just literally handing out flyers.
Damn.
Like to the streets. Like if anyone's talking about like starting a business and what, literally handing out flyers.
And what year is this?
This is probably 2009. The market crashed in 2008.
Yep. Okay.
And so
Instagram isn't.
No, it didn't even exist.
No.
I think it existed. No. Was it 2012?
Yeah, it wasn't until
later.
Okay.
If it did, it wasn't anything.
Yeah, right.
No,
I remember doing.
I think it was like Foursquare or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I remember doing something similar to that where I was training for a little bit, and I had gone and printed out little sheets with like take away my phone number kind of deals. And I went to the dollar store. I probably never told you this. I went to the dollar store with all the money I had. I had 2 maxed out credit cards, and we were making money, but like...
This is your business partner, by the way.
Yeah.
He's still doing this. He's still doing it.
No. Yeah. Well, no. So I had 2 maxed out credit cards. We're making chunks of money and then gone, but that's going to LA rent like nothing.
Yep.
So I had 7 cents. Or at $1.07. So I went to go get $1 for thumbtacks just to put on wood.
Yep.
And it was $1.09. And I didn't have it. Like I didn't have 2 cents. Like I literally couldn't. I had nothing.
2 cents.
And then the lady behind me was like, "I got you." And I did. I went and put tacks all over Marina Del Rey and Venice and got literally nobody from it. But I was like, "Fuck, I have nothing."
So I got a good thumbtack story for you.
Okay.
So Palisades Park, if you're ever in Santa Monica on Ocean Avenue. So I would get thumbtacks. And I had some photos. I did after Merrill Lynch, I did everything to pay the bills. I bartended, got laid off every 2 weeks.
Did you had a couple bucks though? Or did you?
I had a couple bucks saved up from Merrill.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I had an apartment in Florida I was renting, right? So I definitely did that part somewhat right. Like, even though I got laid off, like, I had some sort of savings,
Okay.
right, to fall back on. But I would take thumbtacks and put a flyer on every freaking tree in Palisades Park. So eventually, after a couple months, I did this for months, or over months, but a year, the park rangers would recognize me from the flyers and try to run me down because they told me that all they did all day was take down my thumbtacks because I was making Santa Monica look like too much graffiti stuff.
Yeah.
So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'd put up flyers, Santa Monica, or so Montana Avenue. These are all like the bougie areas of LA.
Yeah.
Santa Monica, the Palisades in Brentwood. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I'd go to the garages in Beverly Hills. A lot of cars, one garage. I would think that was smart.
Yeah.
And so I would just hit up all the fancy cars in the garages with flyers and had the boot camps going. And so, you know, the boot camp slowly started to build, never got real big, but one of those flyers, literally after a year and a half, got me into this building where like the who's who of LA live, randomly, right?
Yeah.
And I guess just my training style was different and unique than most of the Equinox guys that were collared shirt, clipboard, you know, drinking their fancy water, and I was in there blasting Eminem with a wife beater and was boxing and kicking the shit out of people. And then, you know, within 6 months, I was training half the building, and that went from one building to another building to another building, and found this niche in like a high-end private client for wellness, which kind of how all the dots connect because that's what I'd studied at Merrill Lynch. They taught us how to service a high net worth private client. So I was able to understand the personality type of that individual and then build a business on high-end private training. So it was like, all right, well, who are your centers of influence, right? These are the divorce attorneys in town. These are the buildings that people move into from London, Paris, New York to LA. So if you moved into one of these buildings and you were new to town, most of these people had a trainer where they lived before.
Sure.
So I didn't have like roots in town where I could get referrals. So I needed to figure out a way to get referrals. And so I would go to all these people working at the front desk and be like, look, I'll give you 20% of the first package I sell. And so if you moved to one of these buildings in LA, there was probably 1 out of 3 chance you were getting my business card.
Wow.
Because
that's so huge.
You think about it, here's a woman who's probably working the concierge desk, making $40,000 in LA, has 2 or 3 kids, single mom, and you can give her $200 referral fee. Who thinks cards she's giving out?
Yeah, hell yeah.
She's giving out your card. So that eventually led to a good private client business. And then like any personal trainer, you know, you hope to get to this point and you have to make a decision. Am I fine making good money as a personal trainer, or do I want to scale? And typically you scale with either a studio or possibly online. And this is about 4 years ago. And I wasn't sure if Florida was home or California was home yet. And what made my training unique was I didn't need any equipment. The backstory with this is, talked to earlier, is I had those 5 surgeries and I'd been on the side studying yoga every day, like every single day. Like I'd take if I made $20 training, I paid for a yoga class, like every day. So I found this guru in Vinyasa Flow in Santa Monica, Vinny Marino, and I went every day for probably 5 years.
Wow. And
have been practicing now for almost a decade. And I was able to merge athletic training with yoga. And that's really what I was fired up and passionate about. I was like, I've spent the first half of my life studying athletic training. And these yogis could benefit from that because they're asked to sitting around singing Kumbaya all day and they're out of shape, right?
Yeah.
But I felt so amazing from the yoga practice. I was like, how can I share this with my athletic friends? And that's really how TMac 20 came about, was 20-minute workouts, no equipment, no excuses, and each workout ends in a brief meditation. So, right, it allows your nervous system to switch over. So you're doing this hard workout, and then you let your nervous system switch over. So when you walk into that meeting tomorrow morning, not only are you full of energy, but you also have clarity and peace of mind. And that is a great gift to have.
Sure. I mean, I told you I do your meditation. I don't always do the workouts, but I do the meditation.
Right. So we started hearing a lot of times like, hey, we like to go to the CrossFit. We like to go to the gym. We like to swim, whatever. I really don't give a shit how people move.
Yeah.
We figure out what we like to move, right? Sure. Like if it's my TMac 20 workout, like today we surfed and meditated, right? So I think the combination, like I think we make the best home workout out there. So if you're into home workouts, check us out. But honestly, I think the combination is movement, shocking the system. So whether it be surf, CrossFit, and then dropping in, right? Like if you're very like a cerebral type, some people can wake up and just meditate. That's not most of us Americans.
Yeah.
Right. But if you shock the system, I can't do it either. No. And I've been practicing yoga for 10 years. You shock the system, right? You get the heart rate pumping. Then you drop in with a brief meditation. And so I created this meditation, and it kind of came about from, again, so much pain in my body where I couldn't do a push-up. I couldn't run. I couldn't even I got where I couldn't even hardly do yoga half the time because I couldn't bend my for a chaturanga. which is like a low push-up. And so if, it's one thing if you have an injury and your knee hurts, you can work out your upper body, you work out your lower body. But when you have both, you're screwed, right? And if you're an athlete, like if I don't move first thing, I'm just not me. And so what I would do is, those who are familiar with California, the ocean during the winter gets about 58, 57 degrees. It's pretty cold. And, the waves are pretty good size. And so what I would do is I would dive in the water and just swim out past the break at sunrise.
Damn.
No wetsuit. And when if you don't come back to your breath, you'll pass the fuck out and die because there's no one out there with you.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no one out there at sunrise during the winter. But it forces you to come out of your breath. And what started to develop was like, I could draw myself, like even though my body's in so much pain.
Pull that up a little.
Even though the body was in so much pain, I could pull my mind, so to speak, out of my body and look down from above. So I could take myself, one of the places I would take myself back to was like sitting around the camp after a morning hunt with my family in Georgia and letting the fire warm up the body. And so I'd visualize my body getting warm. And then I would come on after, about 20 minutes, the body starts to shut down at that temperature.
Yeah.
So I would get out and I would just sit there in the cold and you're breathing so hard to try to warm up. And I would start this kind of like, I came into God at 12 years old, gave my life to Christ at 12, and had been praying every morning and night for the most part since I was 12. And it was kind of like a half-assed prayer, like you're half asleep, you're falling asleep, whatever. And so I kind of merged that morning prayer, what I'd learned from yoga, and this 4-point meditation that kind of eventually led. And so I just finally filmed a YouTube video. My friends have been doing it with me. They were like, hey, I want to share this with my friends. So I'll film a YouTube video and just share it. And so now people around the world, like I saw that there was a CrossFit gym in Alabama doing their CrossFit WOD, and then they were all doing the guided meditation on YouTube, right?
That's cool.
So
How did they send you that?
Yeah, they sent me, they tagged me in
like
a video. But there's no it's nothing like I invented anything new. It's just like taking the experiences I've had as an athlete in yoga and just kind of I think made it in a presentable world. So we tell people all the time like, hey, we'd love you to do our workouts, but go do you, right? And if you go to the gym, if you do whatever, here's this 4-part meditation it takes 4 or 5 minutes, and you'll have a better start to your day.
Sure, that's what I told you I'd do it after. So I've been doing yoga for like 2 months, consistently for 2 months, and at the end I always do.
Have you bought Lululemon yet?
I have not.
Okay.
I need clothes though. Maybe that's where I go.
If they had them at the sweet.
I don't know what they
yoga?
have.
Sweat yoga.
You'd probably buy it though.
I'll do anything. I'll do anything. I'm a yoga whore now. But I was.
And by the way, I think that's consecutive podcasts in a row.
Oh, I always talk about yoga now. I'm a yoga.
Yeah. He's such a yogi.
Yeah. I am.
He's a micro influencer for
He's
yoga.
Micro influencer. That's such a weird thing for somebody to say. Anywho, so you go from online.
I'm pretty sure they were making fun of me.
I think that wasn't a. It's like a backhanded compliment.
Right, yeah, pretty much.
Like you're an influencer, but like kind of.
Like can you pay a mortgage on a micro?
Right.
Yeah.
So you go from biz where you're training people, and then you go to the online biz.
Yep.
And obviously you didn't have 10 million subscribers off the jump.
No.
And you still don't.
No.
But
no, not even close.
No. But like, how do you? One, what was the decision? Just because you wanted to scale, and then 2, like, how did you decide? Oh well, shit! How am I going to film this? I need to hire a production company. I need to do this, that. Yeah. And then I'm sure you've had a ton of issues since then.
Oh, like I said, ton of issues. Like you're always learning something new,
right?
All the time. So I would say, for the first part was I was fortunate again, like, and I think for people out there that are listening to this, are entrepreneurs, right? Is be great at one thing, So I dedicated the first probably 5 years of LA of building a solid private training, right? So eventually we're just, you don't have to worry about clients getting new clients. They're just constantly referrals. And so that was at a point where, I was running around, I was probably managing about 15 clients, running around all LA doing, anywhere from 7 to 9 sessions a day, 5 on Saturdays, Sundays off. And so I was making decent money.
Yeah.
And I started scaling back from like 15, then I went to 10 just to create space. Just like, how can you scale to create these? And I'd been doing these work because some of these mornings I'd start at 4:30 in the morning, and I was doing these workouts at 4 a.m. out in a park or in my living room.
Or you did the workout before you started training?
Yeah. There's something about like when you walk into that first session as a trainer, it drives me nuts when I see it now. It's like they walk in there, their first client at 5 a.m., they're sipping their coffee, and like you feel that energy.
Yeah, sure.
Like you have a responsibility to that client to bring your best. And I just didn't feel right walking into my first client, like just waking up. So I would shock the system with a quick 20-minute workout, and I had to do something fast. I started creating these for myself, started giving these workouts to my clients to do when they traveled. Because most people, when they work with a trainer, they work with a trainer, say 3 days a week, and they sit on their ass the other 4 days.
Yeah.
And so I was like, just do these 20 minutes when you're in a hotel room.
Yeah.
It'll like make my job a lot easier.
Yeah.
You'll make me look better faster.
Right. So I had been practicing for years, and I was just fascinated. Honestly, like I would go to Palisades Park and just on my free time and just practice, like how can I make this movement from athletic training blend with this vinyasa flow practice, and we just practice. I was that weirdo out in the park just practicing. And eventually I was like, all right, let's film these. And so it started as a 50-minute program, and it didn't sell well at all. But all the feedback was like, we kind of really like this. We can only do it on the weekends. Do you have anything short during the week that you can do for 20 minutes? And I was like, I can't get you in shape in 20 minutes. It's just hard to do, right? And so eventually I like swallowed my pride, took the 50-minute program, chopped it down to the barrel cinches of like 20 minutes. And then that we shot 3 videos with my buddy Matt, who you met this morning surfing.
Yeah.
Just went into the studio, rented out a studio for a couple hours. There's a little burp. Shot 3 videos, and they got some traction. And I just did that whenever I could. With free, I'd train people, save up money, shoot them, put them on YouTube, save up money.
So you just put them on YouTube? You didn't have
didn't monetize them. I knew I didn't have any marketing dollars. I just put them on YouTube, and they started getting a decent amount of traction. And then eventually I was like, all right, well, let's see if we can monetize this. And monetized it, and we got some people to put in their credit cards. So I was like, all right, we've got something here.
Yeah.
And then it slowly since then been like, all right, now let's reach a bigger demographic, film beginner-level videos. And so that's kind of where we're at now.
What do you think's the thing you've messed up the most?
So I think it's being a poor leader in the sense of, I think every small business owner, they have to have a certain amount of pride and I guess you could say grit to get to a certain point in their career. And then the other part is learning to step back and hire other great people to fill in your weaknesses. And I'd say I've done a piss poor job of putting together a team of people for my weaknesses. That's what I've done a poor job of. I've tried a partner before. She was super talented. Just wasn't a good fit for either one of us. She does great now.
Yeah.
But I need to keep trying that more because I'm wearing too many hats at the current moment.
Yeah.
And so I would say that has been my biggest hindrance as far as is taking those next steps. Like in the football field, right? It's like right now I'm the head coach, offense coordinator, ND coordinator, right? Like you need position coaches. You need people to do what they do and let them do it.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's easy to sit there and say that now, but how many people do you want to dedicate the next, the past 4 years of their life and not get paid?
For sure.
Because I just gave away the content.
Yeah.
Not many people want to take that roller coaster of a ride.
Yeah.
Not too many talented people do.
Yeah.
So it's easy to sit there and say, yeah, I messed up on that, but I don't honestly know too many people that want to jump on that boat.
Yeah, probably not a lot. We've never been really good at that. I know I am very much, I want to control shit.
Yep.
And I don't think it's in like an asshole way. Maybe it is. Is it an asshole way to me?
I don't think so.
Let's talk. But I just don't like when people don't do shit they're supposed to do. And also when we're paying people, like we've had people that we paid before, and I want them to fill that time with creativeness. If we don't have a specific project, dude, what are you doing? Dude, like you're just chilling right now. What are you doing? Come at us with ideas. Let's create some cool stuff. We have this downtime. Let's do something cool.
It's always the first sign you've got the wrong person when it's like that.
Yeah.
Right? Because like, for example, even today I'll get asked, like I go back to Nashville, I'm going to teach a free class for a charity, right? If you were to pay me my private rate, it's a lot of money. I'm going to teach this class for free, and I will probably put in over 4.5 hours of prep work for this free class to make sure that everyone who comes to this class has the best class they've ever had in their entire life.
Yeah.
It's hard to find someone who takes that much pride in their work.
Yeah.
Like if someone's like working for $15 an hour, like, oh, they're only paying me $15 an hour. Like, more shit. Like if you're really good at what you do, people will find a place for you.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and we've all worked for much less than $15 an hour.
For free.
And knowing that the end goal of something was going to come.
Right.
Yeah, we've always just struggled with that. I mean, I have for sure.
Well, there's that balance too, right? It's like I go to like Ben, Small Giant. He's one of the guys I go to for honest feedback, and Ben will say, "You're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong." Ben's got no problem telling me. I want my friends telling me, like the people I trust, where I'm doing wrong, because everyone wants to pat you on the ass once you're doing good.
Yeah.
And you don't grow that way.
Yeah.
But also there's that part too as an entrepreneur is like you see the world a little differently through a different lens. And that's what makes you unique. So when do you listen to that gut instinct and when do you take outside feedback? And so it's a constant balance. For example, I started doing these videos 4 years ago, and yeah, it was kind of cool introducing yoga and HIIT training. Now a lot of people are doing this, right?
Yeah.
But what makes us unique, because years ago I was explaining this to people. I was like, hey, I want to kind of merge yoga with fitness, with this meditation. And they're like, don't do it. Do not mix fitness and yoga, especially in some meditation. Like, there's a reason why I know that people don't do that. And these are some very successful people that told me not to do this, that I trusted. I was like, I really don't have any interest in just making workouts with burpees.
Yeah.
And so I stuck to my gut instinct on that. 4 years later, that's what makes us unique.
Yeah.
Is now you can talk to companies about, we mix movement with mindfulness, which is kind of the new thing now.
Sure.
Right? And so there's a part of listening to your gut, and there's also that part too of like, if you're getting honest feedback from someone that you respect, like I had to swallow my pride and chop down the 50-minute workouts to 20.
Yeah.
I had to swallow my pride and like start listening to the customers and making easier videos. So now we have beginner level videos.
Yeah.
So there's a balance there for sure.
Have you done that where you went with your gut and you fucked up, or vice versa?
Where I went with my gut and messed up. That's a great question. I don't know. I'm pretty... I say I'm hard on myself, but I'm also a lot flexible in the sense of like, I will always be cool with going with my gut and messing up. And because I don't look at it as much as, I think it's one of the best lessons you learn. So to answer your question, it's not one specific thing comes to mind, but what does resonate kind of on those lines is that, and I think one of the things that why athletes do fairly well in business is that, you know, when you're in football and you have a surgery, I pretty much had a surgery every off season. You got to earn your job back, right? So earn your starting job at Florida, have a surgery,
That is crazy.
earn it back again, right? Start from zero. I had 4 different linebacker coaches. So just because you had your starting job the year before, you have to beat out his new guys. And so it makes you where you don't have time to like sit in your sorrows. So if I make a decision on my gut and it's the wrong one, 6 months from now we'll learn that was the wrong decision. But I don't sit around and worry about it. Like it takes me about one day. I may take a sip of whiskey and say, oh, fuck that one up. And let's get back to work. Like, what did we learn?
Yeah.
Right? So I think that is a part of being an entrepreneur that was so ingrained as an athlete. Is like there's no time. Like it's not as much of a question of did you really screw it up? You learned.
Yeah.
You know, and I think like you learn. That's kind of the way I look at failing.
Adapt, move on,
I think,
keep going.
Yeah, I was just talking about failure the other day. I think it's when you're an athlete, you're failing every day.
Every day.
In some capacity.
Yeah, almost every play even. Like
multiple times.
Yeah.
Like for us, for our specific sport, we all played college football. As a DB, I'm going to get beat. Someone's going to catch a ball. You're playing linebacker. A guard's going to get on you faster than you think, and a running back's going to run by you, whatever. So you're constantly failing. You just learn to fail and get over it. And figure out for the next play or the next game what you need to do to adjust.
And I would say my weakness is too much like paralysis by analysis. I think you want to learn and like fail and fail fast.
Yeah.
Like there's a balance between like putting out good work. Don't get me wrong. Like you need to take pride in your work, like we talked about, but you need to fail and fail fast.
Yeah.
And then I think you just, as long as you keep looking at it in a positive out, like, all right, 50-minute workouts didn't work. Let's try 20. See if 20. Okay, 20 kind of works. Okay. The meditation really adds something cool in there for people to do.
It's different.
Yeah, it's all right. So you need to be able to app now. Okay, well, people are actually using it on their desktop more than you anticipate. So there's like there's a lot of different things that you make mistakes and learn from, but you just keep. I think that for me, it's like we talked about in the car. I am prepared to dedicate the rest of my life to helping people have a better day, mixing movement with mindfulness.
TMac on the car, I was talking about 20-year plan.
Oh,
I go, dude, I don't know what we're doing next month.
Well, I have no idea what TMac Fitness is going to look like 15 years or 20 years or 5 years.
What technology will be available.
No question.
Yeah.
But I'm committed to dedicating the rest of my life to it.
Sure.
And when you have that type of commitment, it's just like, all right, sure, I want more success now. Absolutely. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to like continue to work at it and get better and get better. And then, you know what? I think eventually we're going to say, we did a pretty damn good job.
Mm-hmm. Sure. What? I just lost my train of thought. I had something about that.
A question for you guys. How do you go through if there's no like one guiding principle, right? Like I've got some friends that are serial entrepreneurs. They just like to start. They love to start new businesses.
The process of it.
And they love that, which I don't get as I get and I don't get. For me, it's like having this commitment to dedicating your life to something, a principle that you want to share with the world. Like I truly believe that God has all given us unique gifts in a specific way. Doesn't mean you have to go off and do like, you know, something you see on TV or famous, but you have a unique gift that only you can bring. And spending your life dedicating and working at that craft and giving that away to your fellow brother and sister, that is something I think that is honorable, that's what fuels me and gets me over the tough times. So I'm just curious, like, if there's nothing that really fuels like a big why, how do you keep going through the obstacles?
I think there is, though. What would you say that?
I don't know yet.
Oh,
You have an answer though.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I like doing creative and cool shit.
Okay.
For how we work, it's basically Tim and I, and we have like independent contractors and people we'll work with from time to time. Tim brings in 99% of the business, and then once it's in, I'm doing 95% of the work. Is that accurate-ish?
Yeah.
Because I'm doing the video, I'm editing, all that kind of stuff. And he brings in most of the clients or partners. I like the process of it. I like the new challenge of it. I do our video now for the most part. I just started doing video. I want to be able to do video, and then people say, "Oh shit, that was really cool," but also tell a story from it.
Right.
So like, I think you can inspire and encourage people through video.
Absolutely.
So it's telling stories, doing cool things, showing people that. I told you the story on how we got our first project with USA Today based off a camera Tim got for when his baby was born. And it was an accident that we got the camera. We didn't even know it took video at the time. And then we started reaching out to people, and we got this big ass USA Today deal based off some bullshit. So I also want to develop more stuff behind the business of our business, where we can show people how we were able to do it. I think moving to LA kind of opened my eyes a lot of that too. Where we lived in Charlotte and lived in Cleveland. It's so simple to get in front of people. It's very easy to get in front of people if you have a good pitch and a good concept. And I don't know if you ever thought that. I never realized that until we came here.
Yeah, I always have.
You've always done it.
Been my gig.
Well,
though, is reaching out to people.
Right, and I think that's a skill set. I don't have that. Now, in person, I'm great. Like, I can talk about fitness and faith and wellness all day in person, and we can have a 2-hour conversation. But what you do is a skill set. I need that type of person on my team.
Yeah.
I don't have someone that can just crank out all day and establish these new relationships.
Yeah, that's all Timmy does.
That's a skill set. Like, that is a unique skill set. When you're looking like weaknesses of TMac Fitness, not having that type of player on the team is a weakness.
Yeah.
Did you just try to hire Timmy?
I'm trying to.
Dude, he totally is right now.
We were trying to.
Your payment is yoga mats.
Dude, I'm hired.
So I would say, though, generally, I like the concept of the process of it, and then also being able to do cool stuff and show people that they can do cool stuff.
Yeah,
they never thought they could do.
I'll add on to that now that I have a second to think.
I was going to tell a story. So I guess creating more of the business as we're starting to do now, like the business behind the business and showing and sharing, I think will be a big part of what we do over the next
I like watching
year.
it. It's cool to watch.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. So Timmy went to a meeting. We were trying to pitch a deal to iHeartMedia. And Timmy went to to pitch the deals, a year and a half ago?
Sounds about right.
And they were in. They're like, we love it, but either way, you have a job if you don't want to go. If you
And that happens more often than not.
right.
Yeah, where the guys will be like, what's your plan? Like, come work for me.
Yeah,
Right. I'm good.
I think it's very I think in a world.
But no one's offered me yoga mats, so that's why.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
We're not saying what kind of yoga mats yet, but I think that's so unique, right? In the days kind of like of, this selfie, whole generation we've got going on, right? That it's that person behind the scenes that makes the business run.
Yeah, a lot of times.
And I think that I think that's such a unique skill set.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a question for you. Does being a father, does that give you an internal drive? Or is it just you being you?
No, yeah.
I don't think he's any different.
Yeah, I don't think it's any different. I'm a little more tired.
Yeah.
So I got to be more efficient with my time.
Okay.
An extra cup of coffee or two per week.
Yeah, I don't think it. I mean, there's no.
Speaking of which, you have a meeting coming up not for too long.
I set my alarm.
Okay.
We got 10.
Yeah.
5:10.
I got my alarms going. Oh, wait, hold on.
We didn't say check your text message.
Well, no,
Yeah,
he emailed me, so he might be canceling. So let me.
That happens too.
We'll talk while you do.
But so like
Yeah,
Tim has the unique ability to reach out before we even had anything. One, we got to deal with USA Today off bullshit video. It was just the concept of doing like, here's what it's gonna look better.
Right.
It'll be cool. We'll be able to do that. But
okay. He is canceling.
Nice. We got all day then.
All day.
But I'll actually read this because this is a cool email.
Okay.
Let me make sure I got
Can
this
you
right.
say who it is?
No.
No.
What type of company? I actually don't even know who it is.
You don't have no idea who it is.
Bill Gates?
Are you going to
Okay.
read it or are you going?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to make sure I read the entire thing. All right, so I had a call here in a couple of minutes. He's canceling, but he wants somebody out because he wants somebody else to get on the call with him. We're talking about something else. It's the marketing person, but he wants this person on because they're in the market for a company to film a Super Bowl ad and wants us to have a conversation about that as well.
Oh, let's go.
So
Those pay well.
pushing it back, yeah.
Those pay
No.
well. Yeah, hop on that. Don't
A
screw-
minimum.
So he's
don't,
moving back.
don't screw that one up.
So let me take my alarm off.
See, and
so
here-
it doesn't go off.
Here's the thing with that too
Attaboy.
is probably what they want is not something we've shot before. If they're looking for something for the Super Bowl, it's
Right.
probably
No, but we'll figure it out.
but we'll say yes
Of
and then
course.
figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
Of course.
we always
Have
do
we
that.
ever shot a commercial for Super Bowl? Yeah.
Of course.
Of course
We wouldn't-
fucking
we
Which
wouldn't-
one?
No,
You
we
know.
wouldn't lie. We wouldn't lie. We'd say, well, yeah, we've
No,
done
yeah,
similar
yeah.
stuff.
So yeah,
Which we've done
So
similar
the
stuff.
talk around that, we've shot TV commercials. We have no problem. We've shot with big companies.
Yeah,
and then you
and
kind
that's
of
true.
talk about the big companies you worked with
I would totally call you out on this shit.
without. Nah, I'd walk around.
Oh, Timmy will walk around
I'm
you all
black,
damn
I'm
day.
black
I'd-
and white,
I'd
bro.
walk
I'm like, the
around,
answer is
bro.
yes or no.
I'd walk
We've
around.
shot TV commercial that has been on
Oh, I
major
love
network.
meetings with guys like you.
Yeah,
I love the awkwardness.
I'm not bullshitting. I'll tell you.
it's
the
all
truth.
true.
Yeah.
We've worked with major
I don't
companies.
lie at all in meetings. I'll just walk around.
Yeah,
Have you shot at a Super Bowl commercial before? I won't say no.
but you don't have to. I mean, but how many people have shot a Super Bowl
All right.
commercial?
Right. Truth.
Small amount of companies can say that.
True.
But we've shot similar stuff.
Yeah.
Correct. And then we'd have to figure it out.
Correct.
Rent a $50,000 camera, and
Yeah, probably.
but it would probably cost us like $1,500 rent,
I don't know.
and then get a whole team behind it and make it look all good from the back end perspective, and then make it look good in the front end. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Now I wonder who the company is.
Sorry.
If it's
An extra yoga mat to give me their email.
yeah, if it's Nike, blink twice.
Yeah.
it's
No, he just did.
Nike. It's
I know it's not Nike. Anyhow,
I
So
don't
where
know.
do you
I
guys?
dropped this.
So what do you guys? Where do you see kind of the future? Where you guys are going with business and BS? It's such, I mean, again, from
With
the
the
outside, I
podcast?
think it's interesting. You're in the work, and so just giving you guys some feedback. It's cool as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know you guys, but
yeah,
I would share this with my friends, what you guys are doing, because as an entrepreneur, you feel sometimes a little bit like lost out there. Like, oh, like you hear these other stories of guys that are doing similar stuff, and then seeing kind of the behind the scenes of what you guys are doing is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I always
Cool.
like behind the scenes shit.
It's
Like,
always,
if
it's
I'm
more
watching,
interesting.
yeah,
Well,
Like-
I'm curious. Like, I really think if it hasn't already, it's going to give you guys a lot more business. Like when I watch the Instagram, and I think you and I talked about this before,
uh huh,
and I see you guys working on whatever project, and I'm looking at 2 or 3 production companies, and I'm looking at their website, and I see their typical web reel and et cetera. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, they're qualified, they're good. And then I go to y'all's Instagram, and I see like y'all having fun behind the scenes. I'm like,
yeah.
those are 2 dudes I'm cool to work with.
Yeah.
Like their work's just as good as the other ones. Like, you know,
Sure.
I don't want to say one works any better, but they look fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend a 14-hour shoot with these dudes.
I'm
than-
sure that's part of why we get some gigs.
It
Yeah.
definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
we've done free shoots before, like the one we're working on this week. We've done free stuff for this person before, and now we've been hired 4 times to do gigs
yeah.
because we
And
did some free stuff, and
they're all day gigs because they know they can kick it with us.
they're
too.
all
Yeah.
exactly. They're all day. They basically say, "Here's what we need,"
Yep.
and then we just handle everything
Yeah.
else. Like they do their like, here's the movements, here's the things we're doing for the fitness shoot. We handle everything else, and they just show up and do it, and they know we're gonna do it good, and they know us, and they're cool with hanging out with us and
Yeah.
bullshit, and then we're telling funny stories, and that leads me to like why we started the podcast, why I started the podcast, because I like doing shit like this, and Timmy does too.
Yeah.
But I think I'm
You're
always
definitely the driving force.
I'm the
of
driving
podcast,
force
though.
behind shit like this. But I think it's threefold. Of course, we probably will get business from it. We've gotten business from podcasts before, actually,
Uh-huh.
with and 5 people listened or whatever. But we've gotten business from it because of that.
Have you had on other micro influencers before?
We have had micro.
We
influencers.
have who?
I mean, Shane is a micro influencer.
Oh, he's a micro.
uh,
Okay.
We're gonna have
this
to-
is our
we're gonna have
first.
to drop-
No.
we're going to drop that
Sam-
word a couple of times throughout the rest.
I
of
think
this.
Sam
Just-
and Christina would probably fall in that range
if you
too.
add them together.
But also it's an opportunity for us to talk to cool people, and then as we create more of our business behind our business is this is all content here. Like the last podcast we did with Shane, I think I did 7 videos I cut from there I'm sure we'll have 5 to 8 videos we can cut out of here and use as content pieces.
It's not my best side though.
Well, you just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Man. We could have
Gosh,
flipped it or put you
jeez.
dead on.
Just do the mirror post.
But as we, and it gives us an opportunity to get to, we've already talked to everyone we've had on so far we know. But we've already reached out and a couple people are interested in coming on that we don't know. Actually, 3 people. And we've just started to begin that. We're more finding our rhythm, figuring things out, and then we'll go out and reach out and say, oh, by the way, we're getting 5,000 downloads a week off this. So there's value in that to them too, besides just the content play.
Cool.
That's our move.
There's an Ohio guy doing a podcast I like a lot called The Learning Leaders Show. Another Ohio guy like you.
Mm-hmm.
By
Is
Ryan Hawk.
Hawk, yeah. You told me that before.
Yeah, he does a good job.
Which is AJ Hawk's
yeah,
something,
brother?
brother?
Hawk, yeah. But he brings on like a bunch of like
former NFL guy, or is he current NFL guy?
AJ Hawk? He's been
Former?
out for a minute.
Former.
I don't watch
Yeah,
pro football. Couldn't tell you,
he's
but
been out for a minute.
another Ohio dude doing a podcast.
Yeah.
I think the Lewis Howes guy. He's a Ohio guy.
Is he Ohio guy?
There's something about Ohio
He
guys
went-
and podcasts.
Yeah, he went. Well, he
Ohio
went to
Northern
Capital.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because the other buddy was.
Guys are
friends
good
with
at
him.
deer hunting and podcasts.
I've never hunted. Never shot a gun.
Jeez.
Nope. I shot a shotgun.
I'd like to hunt though.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd like to. We'll do it.
I'm
one
going
time.
next month. You're welcome to come.
You should go. Did you tell him about Scooter's Ranch?
Yeah,
You
we were
have?
talking about this.
Oh,
morning,
that's
too.
right. We did.
Yeah.
I forget where I was. You were texting me about that. You were with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had questions.
He goes there all the time. You should go.
I want to. Anyhow, TMac, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Appreciate your time, sir.
Appreciate your time too.
We shall talk soon. Thank you.